you know. A lot of what I know was from the observation. Um, then, a major chunk is just through trial and error. You know, I wish I had a testimony where I said, this light skinned woman broke my heart, and then I started drinking milk and, doing push ups and became a fucking, giant of a man, and fucking everything in my life just worked out. I wish that was my demo. Maybe I could kind of relate to the fantasy that's being portrayed here, but you know what I'm saying? It's not the case. I mean, it's not my life. It's not my reality. I was groomed the way I was groomed. A lot of things I don't really talk about on here, for specific reasons. I mean, it was things I was doing at, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, like that. A lot of motherfuckers can never wrap their mind around doing. Being under certain, circumstances that, that would break a lot of people, It's like, being I learn my reality through darkness, And when people, think of darkness, they think of darkness as evil. Darkness is not necessarily evil. It's more so what's behind what's being presented. It's seeing what's behind what's being presented. You don't have to swallow any pills for that shit, do you? Hey, Bino, you don't have to swallow any pills for that. You just have to deal with reality. It's reality versus expectations. I think that's what people struggle with: reality versus expectations. And and a good deal of us have been brought up in these, masjids and church organizations, where as though, you're told, certain things, as far as, having, hope and an expectation, because with every idea that you have has an expectation behind it. Like, let's be real. Going in business for yourself, you have, an expectation for that behind the idea. You want to become wealthy, rich, meet a woman, you want to have a great experience. You want to have a great, communication experience, a great sexual experience, the whole nine. You want to have just a great, blissful situation, but, reality, what people don't tell you about, relationships and, and dealing with, women, they don't want to tell you that shit because, ignorance is not only bliss, but ignorance pays big bucks. When you get into relationships with women, just like when, they get involved with you, right? The areas where you need them to be strong in, they're not. And they know that. And they can't be. It's not their desire or capacity. Realistically, you can go to, you could be in America, you could be in a developing country. At the end of the day, you're going to be met with the same reality. Okay? But when you're in a relationship, when you're involved like that, what the ancient scrolls say? To love the woman, right? Love, agape. Not love them for them, but love them in spite of them. Isn't that what it says? You know, you love them through your behavior, not through your fucking conversation. They said submit. Is that a struggle for them? What does it say in the beginning of the scrolls? That they have a desire to basically have rule over you, but you have power over them, right? They have influence, authority, right? The position, but you have power over them because you're a man. You're stronger than them. You're mentally stronger than them. They're the weaker vessel because their emotions were as though they can't handle what they see. They can't deal with reality. They can't deal with what's happening. They can bear it, you know what I'm saying? But you could see the stress, puts an age on them, the age on their looks. You know what I'm saying? You see the titties start to sag, you see the belly start to get bigger. Can't deal with pressure, can't deal with stress. You're supposed to deal with stress, But what happens? You could say with the modern woman is this. What about the modern man? The modern man is a bitch. He's a half-developed motherfucker that's always in his feelings, moving around and shit. Is basically what claiming plausible deniability, doing shit, not really, saying, okay, damn, I did this shit. Like, for example, this want to separate me from you little bastards. I know, naturally, unintentionally, and sometimes intentionally, sometimes on purpose, I can be condescending and very fucking arrogant. You know why? Because I was always like that since I was a little boy. I know that bothers people because it's like what? Expectations versus reality. The expectations, you look at me, you see, okay, he's a nice looking nigga, right? Nice looking man. Looks like he's presentable. I like to be his friend and shit. But then, I go talk to him. He kind of deals with me like an asshole. So like a lot of my closest friends, what I'm saying, childhood growing up, they're like, I didn't like you in the beginning and shit. I thought you were an asshole. I mean, it's still an asshole, but it's like you're like kind of like a cool asshole. Like, I get it. I mean, I'd rather be easy. Wait. Correction. Pause. Right? I'd rather be difficult to deal with and easy to play with.